This video is about me getting my application form for my planning permission and a little bit about my house. When we bought this house in 2019, it had actually got footings and planning permission for a bungalow, a 3-bed dormer bungalow in this back garden. Hence the reason why I built the garage where it's being built, because you can see where footings are at minute. These footings were done in 2008, I think they were, or 2007. And because it's been started and they've been passed off and signed, it's as good as built. So whenever I can afford it and time I can do it, I'll eventually get round to building that bungalow, maybe one day. I hopefully one day anyway. The way this planning permission's gone down is, if you notice on every one of them photos, every one of my neighbours has got a garage on the boundary. Well, that block there is a block of 3 garages. So there's 3 garages there. There's a garage at bottom of garden, there's another garage at bottom of garden, and then there's another double garage here at the side of me. So I weren't allowed to put mine on boundary. I don't know why, but I had to move it away for a metre. I had to have a metre gap. But I wanted it moving away from house as well, so I've actually moved it a metre away, because I didn't like, well, a metre and a half away from house. I didn't like it touching house. If there's any fires or out, I just didn't like the idea on it. This truck I've got here that's coming in is the truck I sandblasted. Oh, it's tight. Is in. And while I was renovating the garage that were already up, all I was doing was, if you can see where the old stonework is there on the floor, all I was doing was bringing it out that far. I moved it away from house that far, and I was fetching it out that far, and that's all that what plans for it. But my neighbours kindly grasped me up to local authorities saying I was building without permission. So I went down route to getting permission, which if it were going to cost me nearly 500 quid for planning permission, I thought I'll get what I want. So I asked for business rights and business use. So I ended up getting it anyway, so it got passed, and I thought, well, if that's the case, I might as well knock it fully down and build it properly, because the original walls, that back wall was just a solid like block wall. There were no brickwork involved, and it didn't look nice from my neighbour's side. Thinking about it now, I should have just left it, but I did it because I didn't like the idea of it looking crap from their side. So yeah, you do things and then that's what they do, they're going to show it you in foot, but that's a different story. So yeah, people here are going to be looking at this and saying, oh, you should have rebar in it, you should be doing this. Well, I've done numerous garage pours like this size, slightly bigger, slightly smaller. In fact, I did my dad's probably 20 years ago, and his still ain't cracked, and he's running a van over it, so there's a 2.5 ton van going over it near enough every day. So yeah, it's, people have their own opinions on this. We're getting to the point now where we're realising it's going to run out. And I'm saying, well, I ordered 150mm and that size, which is 7.5 metres long by 5.5 metres wide, and you've got 100mm to take off it all the way around it, which is your thickness of a brick. So in theory I should have had a little bit too much, which I were hoping to build a little bit of a ramp on front so forklift could get in and out. But where it turned out, I must have had divots in my hardcore on my floor what I put in, and or probably just not enough in mixer. I don't know how it worked out, but I didn't end up with the same amount as what I wanted. So this is just me and my dad trying to tamp it down and get water to the top. I was going to go down the route to polishing it and having a nice like flat surface, but to be fair, I didn't really want to invest that much time in it. My forklift is going to be running over it. I'm not planning on working in there all the time, but the work that I will be doing in there, it's not going to require a nice polished floor. So I'm never going to have a carpet, I'm never going to put vinyl, I'm not even going to paint it. It's just going to be storage for business use, so it's just going to have pallets of sand in there. That's all it's basically going to have, and probably odd time where I need to work on my forklift or whatever. Just not much. The plans I put in for this garage and all, I put them in for so they fell under permitted development rules, which is 2.5 metres high to your eavites, up to your guttering, sorry, and then because it's a dual pitch roof, I'm allowed to go 4 metre on top peak on outside. If it's a single slope roof, you're allowed to do 2.5 metre, I think it is, or 3.5 metre. You need to just put into Google. In fact, it's an interesting read actually. You want to have a read up about put into Google top 10 worst permitted developments, and then just have a look at what you're allowed to do, like maximum you're allowed to do with area you've got. Permitted development on this one is I'd need to be 2 metres away from that boundary wall, and then I wouldn't have needed any sort of planning permission to do what I wanted to do. So if I'd have pulled it away another metre, I'd have been alright. I'd have not needed planning permission, and I probably still would have needed planning permission if I wanted to go down business route, which in theory I didn't really need to tell them that I'm doing storage for business use, because what is the difference between me storing sand in that garage and then say Bob the builder down the road that's storing a cement mixer in his garage? That mixer, what he's storing in his garage, could be used for business. So what is the difference between my business storage and his business storage? Or even Jill mobile hairdresser who puts the scissors in drawer on a night time. What's the difference between her house then becoming a business use? So there's got to be rules and allow. Well, I don't know how it works, but it's one of them things in it where you've got to. I don't know how it works, but yeah, you can see where I'm coming from when you say stuff like that, like business use. It could be out. Like if I have a wheelbarrow in the garden, is it classed as my business because I use a wheelbarrow for work, or is it a wheelbarrow because I need one for around my yard? I don't know. So yeah, there's always that. But I went down route and I ended up getting business use anyway, so it's come in handy. And in fact, my neighbours have shot the sending foot with that one really, because now my council tax is split rates, and now I've got business rates on my building. So my council tax is slightly cheaper, and I do qualify for small business rate relief. So yeah, it's worked out alright in the end. So I'll eventually save me 500 quid back. So yeah, they've shot the sending foot. This is where I realised I ain't got enough cement. So what I'm trying to do here is I was just going to make a little bit of bollard there, and then I'm going to leave it low, and I was going to just cut it out eventually and then probably refill it. But then I remembered I've got a bag of ballast up there and a bag of cement on floor, so I thought I might as well just mix a little bit up and try and get this colour in, this same colour to the front, so it all dries same. You'll see in a minute anyway. This mix has been stored outside for years, and it's humming as though it wants to start, but it never wanted to go. So we eventually just pulled on belt, and it did eventually go look. But then it did pack in eventually and all. So it did this job, and then its belt snapped, so it doesn't need a belt. Oh, what I've actually forgot to mention is that's still sat on another garage base underneath as well. So there's been 2 or 3 garages being put up. You can see that pad there on the left hand side that's tiled. That's sat on an 8-inch block of concrete that I ended up smashing away. And then when I smashed that away, there were a little bit of hardcore, and there's still another concrete base underneath that. It's just that it was cracked in places, and it's probably been down over 100 years. So I decided I'd put my own base in, but I didn't really want to break it all up, so I just sat it on top. I'm still below So my damp proofing, like my garage base, is still below my house damp. So yeah, I've done it that reason, because I didn't want like that them tiles and that lump there. I'll eventually take that down, and if you've noticed, I've got a bit of stone that comes outside the house. I'm going to pull that all the way around and then go all the way around the house, so I've got a nice flat level surface for my young lad, because he struggles to walk up. So yeah, I want a nice big flat area so he can walk all the way around the house and not have no bother. It was at this point where I realised that I'd deleted all my footage for my building. Yeah, I'm gutted, and yeah, it spoils video, but at least these are photos and videos, these little clips and videos are off of my phone. So I've got a little bit of something, but not much. Straps on, but it don't matter. I'd rather be overboard than not enough. So now I've got to put my felt across here and then get some of them lats a bit longer that go across, and then you set your tiles on them and then you button it up. Nice size. Do me lovely. This is my young lad that can't walk right, but he can climb good and he's got a right grip on him. Right, bit gutted that I've deleted a load of footage from front building and put it beaming and stuff, but shit happens. Anyway, here we go. I'll put all these in. I've just sent some 6-inch nail screws through here. I don't know if that's how you do it. I'm happy with my woodwork though. I think I've done alright with that. I'll put all them on. Tighten this up. I think I might put a strap in underneath there and then just tie them to blockwork. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see how we get on. I don't know if I put too many of them straps in. I think I have, but I bought them. Get them used. Oh, I've missed there, look. But it gets two screws in either side, one here, one that way, so there's one going that direction and there's one not going that direction. I'm going to put some lats on now. Oh shit, need to knock that off. I don't know what I'm going to do with that top, to be fair. No, top at metal. It's about 8 inch wide, something like that. Oh well, let's crack on. Right, idea of putting that main steel beam in and then having my woods coming down like that is because I didn't want like an apex. I wanted to be able to try and store in that area. I didn't want that apex going across and then limiting my head height, because if you notice, I did my garage door was the same height as this door at the front here, and then I altered it. I changed it because I wanted to know that I could get that red van in if I ever needed to get a Sprinter van in. I've got option of doing that. That's the reason why I went high there, and then I didn't end up having didn't want no like struts going across from timber to timber and holding it that way. I don't know what they're called, but I thought if I go overboard with top piece, that steel, and then I can like basically drag my timbers down this way. I'm just basically talking about this eave tray now because wind gets up too much and I didn't realise camera were picking it up that good. That's where guttering is going to sit, just there. So there's a fascia board that sits on that timber, and then your guttering sits on your fascia board. So that eave tray is just a plastic eave tray, so that water runs down that felt under that lat onto that tray, and it doesn't rot your felt away. If it does rot your felt away, you've still got some plastic that goes up so far anyway. And I'm just explaining here that I'm not very good at maths, and I couldn't really work out how many rows of tiles I needed for top. So I was just basically winging it, and I put that piece on there just so that it stood off, and then I didn't know if it needed to set off with a cut or I overlap them a little bit. So that's what I'm trying to explain here. I didn't quite understand how to do this bit, so I just winged it, and then yeah, I got to the top and then realised what I'd done wrong, but you'll see in a minute. Yeah, that piece needs to just hang over a little bit just so that it sits into guttering, and at tile. And these are all my second-hand tiles. What I say second-hand, they're my used tiles off of my old roof, and you'll find out in a bit that they don't match rest on it. It's a cut at top. It'll only be about that much. I don't even think they'll notice it, to be fair. Well, I'm not bothered anyway, it's my garage, it's for me, so bugger it. Right, I apologise for this footage again, I've lost a load. But it was at this point where I realised that these new tiles didn't match the old ones. So they did going down the side, like lengthways, but the width just didn't match at all. So I had to take some of the old ones, what I'd already laid, and put them on the other side so that they'd match on the top for the last course, which I didn't realise this at the time. So hindsight's a beautiful thing, like, innit? But so yeah, I'm just nicking a few of them tiles to finish top of that other runoff. Plus I also need some top of them ones as well. I didn't realise this at the time. Yeah, I forgot to hit record and I missed moving all them new ones over. But here I'm putting my ridge tiles on now. Not my ridge tiles, but the brace in the batten that you put them claws on there, them little standoffs. And then you put that piece of timber over the top. And then you've got something to screw to. It's a dry ridge system. You see that little black thing in that box? That rolls over the top of that and makes like a watertight breathable membrane. And yeah, this is just last course going on top. side and then fascia things. Then I'm going to clean this off. I don't know how to jet wash it, I'll put some chemical on it, we'll see. Right, so all I'm doing here is putting ridges on. Get a roll of this stuff. Some self-adhesive stuff here, but you just need to dry them. Make sure it's not got no shit on it. Stick it to that. I don't need to run a line down it because I'm a professional. No, not really, but it doesn't really matter to me. All I'm doing is I'm aiming for edge at that ridge and that ridge, centre of that timber there, not that red line but the timber, and then just screw it up. I've got my first one tight and all I've done is just keep knocking it towards these. So what you do with these is this sits under here. It's going to be hard one-handed, but that sits under there like that anyway. Got a couple of these clips. I like to make sure I get them all the way down before doing it all the way, so it keeps this plastic to the top. Let me just put your arm on it. It's hard one-handed. Right, so that's all in. Let's see if I can put it there. I need to run that felt out there, so I'm just going to run that to end. And that's about it. I need to put them end caps on top of them dry verges. I think the verges, that's what they're called. If you notice, this tile's a little bit smaller, so these could have done with cutting, but I've done it so that they've got a slightly bigger chance of getting it off at the top. So it sits flush under there. because I've got that girder in and it didn't look right, so that's how I had to do it. Instead of cutting this tile so it looked like same tile all the way up. I should have set them out better at bottom and put my cut at bottom, but I'm not a roofer. That's what I am on the Sandblaster. But it'll do me. It'll keep things dry. Time to get down now. I think we're done up here. Oh, in fact, because it's new tile and old tile, they're slightly different sizes that way. They're slightly different that way. They're not too bad coming down face that way. They nearly fit, so I'm happy with that. I'll just make do with it. But colour wise, don't worry about it, because I've actually got some chemical cleaning stuff that I can clean all this lot up and make it look like brand new. There might be a slight discrepancy in colour, but it'll not be as bad as what that is. It'll probably be more this orangey colour to that orangey colour. It'll not be too bad. I don't see it from my windows anyway. That's my first truss there. If you see that bird's mouth, I kind of cocked up on that first, but I learnt my lesson, and I ended up making spacings 600 wide instead of 500 wide, and that's why I've got them spares. This is me trying to fly a drone. I ain't a clue how to do it. Still learning. I've only had it 2 years now. That colour match from brand new tiles to old, and I ain't even put a what I call it on that yet. I ain't even put any chemical on it. All I've done is jet washed it while scaffolding was still up. Now, there's a couple of misses there, but you can see that small line of tiles in at top. That's where I probably should have put my cut at bottom, and then you wouldn't have even noticed it. You probably wouldn't notice it because I've pulled it out and showed you it, like. But like I say, it's good enough for me. That I'm more than happy with that. It has thrown me my plastic dry ridge out a little bit with them being new tiles and old tiles. I should have kind of stuck to the same tile, and then I'd have known that my plastics would have matched up perfect, but it's alright. It does me, does what I want it to do. There's a couple on them a little bit out of line, but I'm not right fussed, to be fair. I'm happy with that. It's dry. We've had some heavy rain and it's still dry. That colour match is pretty good. To say I'm a Sandblaster and I ain't done building for a long time, I'm more than happy with what I've achieved there. It's been an enjoyable project, and I hope you've enjoyed coming along and watching the video, and watching my progress, I suppose. Thanks for watching, and I want to thank my dad for helping me out with this project as well, because it wouldn't have been possible without him helping me. On stuff like this, you just need an extra pair of hands sometimes. There's a lot on it you can do yourself, but just that extra pair of hands just comes in a hell of a lot handy. Yeah, so thanks Dad. And his financial backing.